Welcome you all at this online learning platform. Because of the deadly COVID-19, the country is locked down and almost every educational institution using this platform to teach their children, and our endeavor is also in this direction and will continue use this platform to teach our children until the lockdown ends. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Rajkumar Singh, working as a PGT for a long 12 years in this Aditya Birla Public School, Rehla, and I will teach you the subject Informatics Practices. Informatics Practices, the abbreviated form used for this subject is IP. IP, not IT. Some people are using IT, but it is an IP. So IP, Informatics Practices, it is one of the computer related subject you can say, but this is not a computer subject in class 11th. So people are generally using the class 11th computer. So computer science is a different subject, and computer and IP, Informatics Practices, is different subject. So we are offering Informatics Practices IP subject in class 11th and 12th. So whenever you are going to purchase a book for class 11th computer, don't say to shopkeeper, give me a class 11th computer. So they will give you, might be possible they will give you the computer science subject of class 11, and that is not the subject we are offering. So you must say the class 11th IP subject, means Informatics Practices subject. Okay, the subject code of this IP is 065. So whenever you call whenever you use the subject code for this subject, so that is the subject code is 065. So that is the code of Informatics Practices, and this would be your fifth subject. This would be, if you are opt for this subject, so it would be your fifth subject, and it would be your main subject. It also be your main subject. So this is, don't treat this is an optional subject. So this would also your main subject. So you have to give enough time to this subject also. So if you are not performing well in this subject, so that will affect your class 11th result. So be prepared, be aware while choosing the subject. So you have to give some extra time to this subject also. So before going to explore the subject, first I would like to tell you what are the subjects offered by our school. So the first you must understand the course structure. So what are the subject offering our subjects? So what would be the combination of your subject in class 11th? Before going to start a teaching, I would like to tell you about the subject combination we are offering in our school. Science stream. Suppose if you want to take admission in science stream, and if you want to seek admission in PCM stream, physics, chemistry and math stream, so this should be your subject combination. First the English language, second physics, third chemistry, and fourth mathematics you can study. And so these four are the main subject, and the fifth subject you have to opt. These two subjects you have to opt, you have to go for only one. Either you have to study biology if you want to study mathematics along and biology also, so you can go for biology. And the last subject is IP. So you have to, if you are not opting for biology, then you have to opt for Informatics Practices. And second, if want to get admission in PCB, physics, chemistry and bio combination, English, physics, chemistry, these three are the compulsory subject. Bio would be your fourth subject, and then you can go for mathematics and IP. So these two courses, with these two subjects we are offering, so you have to go for only one as a fifth subject. So IP and math, these two are options, so you can select any one option from these two. Commerce streams, we are offering these subject combination: English, accountancy, business studies, economics, and the fifth subject we have two options: applied mathematics and informatics practices. So you can select only one out of these two. Applied mathematics, this is the new subject offered by CBSE this year onwards, so you can go for this applied mathematics if you want to study mathematics with in commerce stream. So, and this is only for commerce stream students, so you can go for this applied mathematics. Otherwise you have to go with informatics practices. Why should you opt IP सब्जेक्ट? आपको IP सब्जेक्ट क्यों लेना है, क्यों आप इस सब्जेक्ट को प्रीफर करोगे? So these are the points. First I tell you, this is the era of computer technology. So I think one subject must be in your curriculum that should based on computer technology. So the computer is the today's you can say that is the requirement of day-to-day life. So the one subject must be in your subject, in your course combination. So that's why you should go for this informatics practices. The second thing is easy to learn. So this subject is very easy, and if you are giving focus on this subject, so you will easily learn this subject. The class lecture is enough to learn this subject. I tell you, the class lecture is enough. So if you are focused in the class, so you don't have to give any extra time to learn this subject. So this is very easy to learn subject. So just one requirement is needed to focus in the class lecture. So whenever the teacher will teach you in the class, so you must have focus on this subject, so you will easily learn this subject. And third thing is high scoring subject. So this subject, first it is easy to learn, and the second is it is a very high scoring subject. I tell you, in our school almost every year the 50% of students getting 90 plus percentage, 90 plus marks in this subject in every year. So you can imagine so how this subject is scoring. So you can easily get very good marks in this subject. Fifth point is beneficial for higher study. If you are going for this subject, so it would be beneficial for your higher study. If you are going in the engineering field, or if you are going in any other field, some students want to make career in computer science field, so this subject is very beneficial for them. And if even the students are not going in these streams, so ultimately they have to work on computer. So the computer is the essential part in of our daily life. So that's why you should go for this IP subject. And in this subject you will learn the programming skill. We are using different apps and software in our day-to-day life, and how these softwares are developed. So we will learn in this subject how the software is to be developed. So we can learn the programming skills so that we can also develop our own software. Sixth point is Python language. We will learn in this course the programming language, the most modern and popular programming language, and this language is almost used in every software field. So we will learn the Python language in this course. And the database concept, we will also learn the database concept the database concept: capturing, collecting, storing and analyzing data in computer through MySQL database software. So MySQL is that is also a part of this course content, and we will also learn the MySQL database in this course content. So these are the benefits when you are opting for informatics practices. So first thing you must keep in mind, you have to give some time to this subject also, then you can get good marks in this subject. And one thing I also tell you, don't think this is an optional subject. This would be your main subject. So you have to pass in this subject also to promote in class 12th. So you have to give ample time to this subject also, otherwise you will not score good marks in this subject. So don't treat this is an optional subject and you will not focus on this subject, and you are only focus on your main subject, and you will not give any extra time or any the time to study this subject, so it will affect your result. Okay, so this is the syllabus of informatics practices for class 11th. I will give you the link of this document in description box, and you can also download this syllabus from cbseacademics.in website. And these are the syllabus. So look at here, the informatics practices class 11th, code 065, and the session for 2021. Prerequisite nothing. And what are the learning outcomes of this syllabus? At the end of this course, student will be able to identify the components of computer system and create Python programs using different data types, lists and dictionaries, explain what is data, and analyze using NumPy. So we will learn NumPy, one of the library of Python language, and the database concept. How can you retrieve and manipulate data using the MySQL database? And you can also identify the different emerging trends in the field of information technology. And this is the distribution of marks and period. So unit 1 is the introduction to computer system. So we will learn the computer fundamental in this unit, and the marks allotted for this unit is 5 and number of period is 10. And the second unit is introduction to Python. So the marks allotted for Python language is 25. And the third unit is data handling using NumPy. So NumPy is the library of Python. So we will learn NumPy, and the marks allotted for NumPy is 15. Database concept and structured query language. So the marks allotted for this unit is 20. And the fifth unit, that is introduction to emerging trends. So the marks allotted for this unit is 5. So total 70 marks. So theory is 70 marks and the practical allotted 30 marks. So total 100 marks. So the theory marks is 70 and the practical is 30. So whenever you appear in the examination of informatics practices, so the question paper will come of 70 marks and the practical is 30 marks. The practical we will conduct separately for 30 marks. And unit wise syllabus distribution. The unit 1 is the introduction to computer system. So what are the topic we will cover in this unit? Introduction to computer and computing, evolution of computing devices, components of computer system and their interconnections, input output devices, computer memory. So these topics we have already learned in different classes. So this is the unit that we have already covered in the previous classes. And the software. So what are the different types of software and what is software? The unit 2, that is based on Python programming. So in this unit we will learn the basics of Python programming, Python interpreter, and these are the topics we will cover in this unit. And the third unit is NumPy. So we will learn that these these topics in NumPy, and the fourth unit, that is database concept and structured query language. So we will learn these are the topics in this unit, and we will use MySQL database software, DBMS software, to implement you can say to creation and manipulation of data in computers. And the last unit, that is the introduction to emerging trends. So what are the emerging trends in the information technology fields? So we will discuss each and every topic in details when we reach to this unit. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, these are the emerging trends we are using in day-to-day life. We are experiencing these trends in our day-to-day life. So we will discuss each and every topic in details in unit 5. This is the practical marks distribution, that is the 30 marks. So when the practical marks, practical will conduct, so you also have to maintain the practical copy, and when the practical question paper will form. So in this distribution the practical question paper will be formed. So first one is the based on Python programming language, that it will be the 8 marks question, and NumPy, the problem related to the NumPy, that would be allotted for 5 marks. Creating database using MySQL and performing queries, that should be 5 marks. And practical file, and so minimum 20 Python programs you have to write in your practical file, and the 5 NumPy program must be in your practical files, and at least 20 SQL queries in your practical files. So the practical file will be of 7 marks. So this practical will be conducted at the end of session, and the Viva is of 5 marks. So total 30 marks. Suggested practical list, the programming in Python. So when we learn the Python program, so I will try to solve each and every program written here to find the average and grade of given mark, to find the sell price of an item with the given cost and discount. So I will try to solve each and every, I will solve each and every program, and you can write down all the programs in your practical copy. And then the NumPy program to create an array of one dimension array. So these are the programs that is based on NumPy, and these are the problem that is related to database management system. So I will try to solve each and every program, and you will have to write in your practical copy. So you have to maintain a practical copy, and I will solve each and every problem, and you have to write in your practical copy. I will check when the school reopen. And right now I know you people do not have any textbook for class 11, so I will use this NCERT textbook for class 11th. So I will give you the link of, you can directly download this textbook from the NCERT website, and I will give you the link of this textbook, so you can download from the description box also. And I will go through this NCERT informatics practices, because you do not have the textbook for class 11th informatics practices right now, and I will recommend you to purchase class 11th Sumita Arora, written by Sumita Arora, and published by Dhanpat Rai publication. So generally all the group schools are recommending this book, Informatics Practices by Sumita Arora. So you can purchase that book from any shop, and I will use this NCERT Informatics Practices for teaching the classes. Okay, next I'll tell you. So this is the NCERT book. I will open the very first chapter. So I will give you the link so you can download, and this one is the very first chapter. So this is the uh, informatics practices and textbook for class 11. So you can download, and the first chapter is nothing. The chapter is not actually, it is not a chapter. It is the first means the content file, you can say. So what are the contents in this book? So it is the content file, you can say, and acknowledgement content. So this is the content, you can say. The first chapter is computer system. So these are the topic we will cover. And the chapter 2 is given emerging trend, but it is a unit 5. So we will learn this chapter at the end of session, because that is the unit 5. So the question will not come, the question will come from emerging trend in final examination. So we will cover this unit at the end of session. Okay. And chapter 3 is the brief overview of Python language. So we will learn first computer system, and then we'll move to the chapter 3. So introduction to Python, because the chapter 1 is the unit 1 and the overview of Python is the unit 2. And unit 3, these are the topics. That is also a part of unit 2, working with the list and dictionaries, and understanding data and introduction to NumPy. This is unit 3, and the database unit 4, and the chapter 2 is unit 5. Okay. Now I open the chapter 1. So I am going to open chapter 1. This is the chapter 101. So this is the chapter 1, and these are the topic given in this chapter. First, introduction to computer. All you know what is computer. The computer is an electronic device that can be programmed to accept data, process it, and generate result. Everybody knows what is computer. So we are learning this, you can say, the computer definition of computer from early classes. So everyone must know the definition of computer. So this is the definition. A computer is an electronic device that can be programmed to accept data, process it, and generate result. A computer along with additional hardware and software together is called computer system. So we also know there are main two components of computer. One is hardware, the physical component, and software. The software means the computer instructions, a program, you can say, that is software. A computer system primarily comprises of a central processing unit, memory, input-output devices, and storage devices. All these components function together as a single unit to deliver and desired output. So we already know basically the computer is divided into 3 units: input unit, processing unit, and output unit. Input, output, and processing. So this is the cycle, you can say. Input, IPO cycle, IPO, input, processing, and output. So sometimes it is called IPO, input, processing, and output. So you will feed data through the input unit, and the processing will process that data, and output device will produce the result of processed data. So this is the system. A computer system comes in various forms and sizes. We already know the laptop is also one of the form of computer system. Laptop and tablet PC, our smartphone is also like one kind of soft computer, you can say. So the system comes in various forms and sizes. It can vary from high-end server to personal desktop, laptop, tablet computer, and smartphone. And this is the block diagram of computer system. You can observe here. So input device, so you have to feed data through this device, input device, the keyboard, mouse, and the different input devices comes through that. You can feed data into computer system to process that data. And this is the central processing unit. It basically it has three main parts: the primary unit, control unit, and arithmetic and logical unit. So these unit process that data. Suppose if you are feeding data that needs some arithmetic and logical calculation, so control unit sends that data to this arithmetic and logical unit, and then the control unit receives that data, and it send that data to the output device. So overall functioning is controlled by this control unit. It receives the data from input device, and it send data to the designated you can say unit. Suppose the data needs to store, so it will send data to the primary memory and it will store data. And if the data is needed for some processing, so it will send data to the arithmetic and logical unit, and after processed data it will send to output device to produce result. So output device that will show the result, yeah, processed data you can say. And sometimes, and this is the secondary device that is not part of CPU. But suppose if you want to save that data permanently, because when you process the data, that data will not save permanently. So when you want to save your data permanently, so you can save on this secondary storage device. So this is the basic flow diagram, block diagram you can say, of a computer system. So you need three unit: input unit, CPU, central processing unit, and output unit. So through input unit you will send data into the computer system for processing, and the processing unit will process that data, and then the output unit will produce the result. Means it will produce the result. So this is the basic components you can say of a computer system. So central processing unit, so we must know this is the brain of computer. Generally it is called a brain of computer because all the operation is performed by this particular unit. So input and output, it is just it is used to send data, and the output unit just used to display data, but all the process is going on inside the central processing unit. So it is the electronic circuitry of a computer system that carries out the actual processing and is usually referred to as the brain of computer. It is also commonly called processor, and physically a CPU can be placed on one or more microchips called integrated circuit, and IC comprises semiconductor materials. The CPU is given instructions and data through program. The CPU then fetches that program and data from memory and perform arithmetic and logical operations as per the given instructions and store the result back to the memory. While processing, the CPU stores the data as well as instructions in its local memory called registers. So this primary memory, it is also called memory. So sometimes the CPU needs to store intermediate result. So that is not a complete process. So sometimes the CPU needs to store that intermediate result. So that CPU uses register to store that intermediate result. So this register is a memory of CPU, you can say. Registers are part of CPU chip, and they are limited in size and numbers. So different registers are used for storing data, instruction, and intermediate results. Other than the register, the CPU has two main components: arithmetic logical unit and control unit. And ALU performs all the arithmetic and logical operations that needs to be done as per the instruction in a program. And the CU controls sequential instructions execution, interpret instructions and guides data flow through the computer's memory, ALU and input and output device. The CPU is also popularly known as a microprocessor. So the main function of a CU, you can say, this is it controls overall function of the CPU, a microprocessor. And look at here, these are the pictures of input devices, because through these devices we are feeding data into computer system. The keyboard, the standard input device, this is the keyboard. Through this we are feeding data into computer system for process. Mouse is a pointing device that is used to give instruction, to execute command through this mouse. So this is also a kind of input device. Scanner, suppose if you want to scan, suppose if you want to transfer some pictures into a digital form, so we are using the scanner to scan the still photograph and it will convert it into digital form. Touch screen that comes in input and output both, because the screen you can execute commands through this screen and you can also get the output on the same screen. So touch screen is comes under the input and output both. So through touch screen we can also feed data into computer system and we also give instruction to the computer system. So input devices, the first you must know what is input. So input unit, we must know the input unit. What is the meaning of input unit? Input means that unit through which you are feeding data into computer system. So the unit through the data goes into the computer system, so that unit is called input unit, and the devices used for this unit is called input devices. So devices through which control signals are sent to a computer are termed as input devices. So these devices converts the input data into a digital form that is acceptable by the computer system. Some examples of input devices include keyboard, mouse, scanner, touch screen, etc. And the figure shown all the means images of all the input devices. And the special designed braille keyboards are also available to help the visually impaired for entering data into computer system. So the person who is visually impaired, they are using a special kind of keyboards. The letters are encoded in a special form that is called braille. So that is coded in the braille form, so they can easily interact with the computer through that braille keyboards. And besides, we can now enter data through a voice. For example, we can use Google voice search to search the web, where we can input and search string through our voice. So microphone, you can say, that is also a kind of input device through which the computer receives our voice. So the you can say mic is the input device, you can say. The data entered through input device is temporarily stored in main memory, that is called RAM, random access memory of the computer system. For permanent storage and future use, the data as well as instructions are stored permanently in additional storage locations called secondary memory. Next, output devices. The devices that receives data from a computer system for display, physical productions, etc. is called output device. It converts digital information into human understandable form. For example, monitor, projector, headphones, speaker, printers, these are the output device. Look at here. So display, monitor, this is output device because it produce a result on the screen. So this produces result, and you can see that result on monitor, so that is output device. And speakers, so it produce sound, so that is output device. And printer, if you want to make hard copy of your file, so the printer is used to make a hard copy of your soft copy, so it is a printer, that is also an output device. And 3D printer, so this is only a special kind of printer that is used to print 3D graphics. A braille display monitor, the braille keyboard and braille monitor both are useful for the visually impaired, a visually challenged person. So the person who is blind are not able to see, so they are using a special kind of devices to work on computers. A printer is most commonly used device to get output in physical hard copy form. Three types of commonly used printers are inkjet, laserjet and dot matrix. So nowadays there is a new type of printer called 3D printer, and which is used to build physical replica of a digital 3D design, and these printers are being used in manufacturing industries to create prototype of product. Their usage is also being explored in the medical field, particularly for developing body organs. So these are the output. We must understand what is output. So output that produce result, and it takes data in digital form and produce the data in human readable form. So these are the devices that is used to produce result, so that devices are called output devices.